shows up as well in that section. Another thing about this scale you're seeing here, it's not just about the storm motion, but also this gives us an indication of the wind speeds as well. If you see red versus blue, that does not automatically mean rotation. You need to see some speed, some real velocity in there as well. Balin's indicating that. He's pointing out that we're seeing velocities of generally 50, maybe 60 miles per hour in the lowest levels of the atmosphere. These brighter shades of red getting into pink and these darker shades of blue getting into lighter blue. That's where we're really finding the strongest winds and the strongest what we call cyclone, mesocyclone in the atmosphere that could potentially be spinning up a tornado closer to the ground. This circulation hasn't really shown any signs of weakening either in the last couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and push that in nice and tight once again to ground level, Balin, and check out some roads as this circulation continues to move. We're now generally east of the main road network within Centerville itself, but again, Highway 48. State Highway 48 would certainly be in the path of this right now. That's Dave Collins Lane showing up, and also Ewell Road would be where we're seeing some of the stronger winds and potentially a tornado trying to touch down in that area. So the tornado warning remains in place until 9:30 for those sections. We're following that road network east from there. This is all through Amite County. This area is all considered in the tornado warning as well. So continue to follow Highway 48 from there, and we're going to be getting closer to Liberty at this point. And there it is coming onto the right side of your screen. If you're in the Liberty area right now, you're not immediately under the gun, but you are within the tornado warning. So you need to be paying close attention to this, and it may come soon time for you to take your safe shelter as well in those sections right into central Amite County. But this is what we are focused on at the moment, just to the southeast of Centerville. If you are in the Centerville area and you're able to safely report to us anything that's occurred, you can do that by sending us an email. You can certainly reach out to us on the X platform as well, or report that with the Storm Station weather app. If nothing happened, report that as well. It gives us kind of a ground idea as to whether or not this storm may or may not be producing a tornado or just simply strong wind gusts in the area of southwestern Amite County now. Balin, any updates on the warning at this moment?
I haven't gotten any new updates as for the exact warning, but we're still definitely tracking this area of rotation from Centerville. Still extends until 9:30. A lot of lightning with this storm. We're seeing really heavy rainfall as well with this severe thunderstorm tracking through Amite County. It's tracking off towards the northeast, and if we had to put a storm motion on this, we're going to give you the exact speed that this storm is moving. It is moving to the northeast east at 30 miles per hour. So if we track this storm and pause it right here and track it towards the east to northeast at around 30 miles per hour, we're going to tell you where it might be near Liberty. So time right now is 9:04 p.m. And if we track it off towards the northeast, you see in Liberty, you got about 30 minutes to prepare for this very strong thunderstorm as it moves off towards the east-northeast. That looks to be the current storm motion. So this is time that you need to go to your safe place, the lowest floor of your home, the most interior room, and that's where you're going to want to ride out this storm. It definitely is having some areas of rotation, especially in this little hook area. Josh talked about it earlier, but you got this main core of the storm located in this general region, but where it starts to curve around, that's that main business end of the storm. That's going to be where we're potentially seeing a tornado try to develop. So as this moves off towards the northeast, that's where it could potentially drop a tornado. There's nothing confirmed or updated in the warning yet that we do have a tornado on the ground, but it is definitely rotating. We're zooming in tight here, and you can clearly see where this rotation is located. You see these winds are this red shading here. That's denoting winds moving away from our radar in Hammond. And then you see these blue shades moving away. And in between, that's where we could see that tornado develop. Anywhere in this region, I cannot rule out a tornado. Anywhere we're seeing those reds and blues basically touching each other, a tornado could develop. So a very broad area of rotation, but within that, that's where we potentially see a tornado. Elsewhere across southeastern Louisiana, we're just seeing a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity, really overspreading a lot of the region. And we're watching for some strong storms as well. Severe thunderstorm warning down in southern Livingston Parish. Some other stronger storms rolling through Baton Rouge at this hour. But by far, the strongest thunderstorms are up towards the north. You see this big polygon here that's outlined in red, or yellow, excuse me. That's that severe thunderstorm warning. And finally, that red polygon, that's for this tornado warning out here, now entering into Amite County. So Centreville, you were basically done with the business end of the storm. You're not in that tornado warning polygon anymore. Gloucester, you're technically in that polygon, but the area of rotation that we're watching is to your southeast. So I would say you're not looking too bad if you're over there in Gloucester. That main rotation is down towards your southeast. But Liberty, that's where you really need to watch it, and everywhere in between, because we're seeing a lot of rotation in this area. And if you zoom in here and looking at the road, basically this is rolling right up Highway 48 here. If you're driving in this area, you do not want to be, that's for sure. And we have some other roads and communities as well that is in these areas. So you need to take shelter. Like I mentioned, the most interior room of your house. Make sure you put on some good shoes as well before you go there. Get pets, people, if you can, get those pets. Definitely get the people before, though. And then make sure you are going into the most interior room, and most preferably, more than any other room in your house, a bathroom. The plumbing in the walls actually helps to keep those walls from collapsing. It's one of the safest places you can go. So anyway, Josh is tracking out this storm basically where it's going to be by 9:30, and you can see Liberty is going to be knocking right on your door. So it's going to be riding up Highway 48 as we get towards 9:30, and then right on top of Liberty. So this storm is definitely still rotating. We're still seeing very much some rotation in this thunderstorm, and that's why you definitely want to take shelter. Like I've been saying, the lowest level of a sturdy shelter, interior room away from windows. So let's say you do have a bathroom, but it's on an exterior wall. That's generally not a place you want to go, because those exterior walls will actually be the first to go. So get to the most interior room, and if it is a bathroom, that is the most preferred place to go. Wear shoes, take pets, and also a good idea to cover your head as well. Zooming out here, we can see a bunch of thunderstorms like I mentioned, and we're looking at the lightning activity. And one thing that you could tell by a thunderstorm's intensity is how much lightning it's producing. And generally, when you see a storm that's producing more lightning, it's generally more intense. And look how much lightning this storm is producing here in Amite County. Big lightning producer, a lot of cloud to cloud and cloud to ground lightning strikes. So not only just from the threat of tornadoes and winds, you don't want to be outside around this storm, because you have the chance of getting struck by lightning, which is how much lightning we are seeing. Still definitely rotating. Just got a new scan on radar here. We have at 9:09 p.m. This is the new storm motion scan, and still definitely seeing some areas of rotation. Broad area moving away from the radar, broad area moving towards, and in between, you see where these two colors are touching. That's where we're watching for it to tighten up. So I wouldn't say that it is extremely tight at the moment. There's definitely rotation, enough to give it a tornado warning, but not tight enough where I would say, okay, there's 100% a tornado on the ground, but that could change at any moment. And what we're looking for is what we call a couplet to develop. So basically where you see these red and green colors directly touching, and the values of these colors will be very, very high. We're not there yet, but we're definitely seeing some high winds in this red color here. That's where we're seeing 40 to 50 mile per hour winds aloft. Now, this is not at the surface. This is a few thousand feet above the surface, but still some of this could translate to the ground. And then over here, this is where you're seeing those winds blowing towards the radar. Pretty strong winds there as well. And in between, that's where we could see a potential tornado.
Balin, I did just get an update from the National Weather Service. They do not see any signs of a tornado debris signature right now, as we can point out here. Nothing stands out just in between Centerville and Liberty, indicating anything other than plain old rain in the atmosphere at this time. But regardless of that, as you and I have been pointing out, this is very likely because of the strength of the winds here in the lowest levels of the atmosphere, producing some strong damaging wind gusts. So while the tornado warning's in place, and while this storm cell is showing signs of rotation on approach to Liberty in Amite County, may or may not be putting a tornado on the ground, but does appear to be very likely producing some strong damaging wind gusts, and that's why the tornado warning is live until 9:30. Just to update you on what we're doing here as Balin is off screen, we want to at least follow this storm through Liberty. Again, this is a fairly populated town in Amite County. It will move into more rural sections of northern Amite County after that, but we know that our folks with us in Liberty and Amite County tonight are hanging tight and counting on this coverage, so we want to remain with them at least while this tornado warning and this circulation is evident on Highway 48 approaching Liberty and Amite County. So again, no signs of a definitive tornado on the ground right now, no reports coming into our inbox, but in our communications with the National Weather Service, we do have tight enough rotation here and strong enough winds to warrant this tornado warning continuing for the next few minutes on approach to Liberty at this time.
Yeah, it makes sense why we're not seeing debris just yet, because like I mentioned, we don't have tight enough rotation, for me at least, to say, okay, there's definitely a tornado on the ground, but it is tight enough rotation to get a tornado warning, and basically we could have a tornado at any point. This is tight enough where this could spin up at any point in the next few minutes, or not at all, but still, you definitely need to be prepared. Just got a new scan here at 9:12 p.m., and we're looking at, again, storm motion here. And you see those winds clearly blowing away from the radar there in the red, and then blowing away from the radar in the blue. And still tracking it, still definitely has some rotation here. And Josh, don't mind going out a little bit, and because we're trying to see, see that area up towards the northwest, a little bit stronger winds there, especially blowing towards the radar, so we'll have to watch, see if that can tighten up anymore. That area I'm pointing to is right around here. You see how the colors basically get a little bit lighter shades of blue. That is showing a little bit stronger winds that are located aloft, nearly 60 miles per hour there. So we're starting to see maybe a little bit higher winds on the winds blowing towards the radar, still decently high, blowing away. But where these could potentially come together, that's where we would see a tornado try to develop. So you still definitely need to take cover. Nothing is confirmed at the moment, but this storm, bottom line, yes, it is definitely rotating, and it could produce a tornado at any moment. So if you're in Liberty, that's going to be the next location this is impacting. Looks like it's going to get pretty much right on top of you there in Liberty. We're now looking at basically live radar here, showing all the rain and the lightning. Lots of heavy rain with this system. See all those reds there? That is very heavy rainfall. Not getting a bunch of indication that this is dropping hail here, but it is producing lots of lightning in this box and region. Bunch of lightning strikes here. And we're just watching this storm as it moves towards the east-northeast. Josh, can you confirm with me, did they just remove that tornado warning, or did you take it off?
I did. I turned it off so we could highlight the amount of lightning going on.
Okay,
this
just
storm.
making sure. I didn't think they would have removed the warning. Yeah, definitely still rotating. But look at this. Number of strikes, 490. And positive strikes, that's 269. So this is a very, very energetic thunderstorm. It's a strong thunderstorm producing a lot of lightning and potentially even producing a tornado. And it's definitely still rotating. And we've been talking about inbound blowing towards the radar, outbound blowing away from the radar. But it's very important because this is one of the main factors that we use to tell if a storm is capable of producing a tornado. And this storm is definitely still rotating. You see those winds blowing away from the radar towards the radar. But again, there's not a very clear signature that this tornado is on the ground. One, we're not seeing debris in our atmosphere, and two, we don't have a very, very tight, what we would call a couplet. Basically, not to get too technical, but it's where you have these pixels here, 2 pixels very, very close to one another with very high winds on each side here. So you would have to have a very tight area with really high winds. That could tell you that, okay, there's a tornado on the ground. We're not exactly seeing that here. It's just a very broad area of rotation. But when you got rotation like this, that could change at any time. Basically, this whole entire storm is rotating. We're looking aloft into the atmosphere, and this storm is rotating. It just has not been able to stretch a tornado down to the ground just yet. We don't want that to happen, but the potential is there when you have a storm that is broadly rotating. But it has not happened yet. It's time now, see 9:16, I'm tracking. Still, Liberty, you got about now 15 minutes or so to prepare. So you've had a good amount of lead time with the storm, and you still got a little bit of lead time before the worst of the storm heads near your location or where this rotation is located. So if you're in Liberty, it's time to prepare if you have not. This is a very dangerous situation. You might have had your phone going off, and you might have a weather radio that's going off, or you might be watching this live on air now. It is time to prepare. You need to get the people first, get the pets if you can, if you have time, and you need to take shelter because this storm is about 15 minutes or so from reaching the Liberty area. And we also have some other communities down towards the southwest, a little bit more rural areas, but if you go off towards the northeast, that's where you definitely run into the town of Liberty. You see some streets there like North Church Street. If you live in that area, you know that area well. So if you live anywhere around Liberty, anywhere around Highway 48, you need to be taking shelter. Storm's definitely still having rotation to it. It has not went away just about yet. I'm ready for this rotation to go away and stop, but it has not. Back to the traditional radar view here. A lot of heavy rain about to move into Liberty, actually right on the eastern extent of it now, of heavy rain just moving into your location. Still a lot of lightning. You're probably hearing a lot of thunder in this area as there is a bunch of lightning going on right now. Zooming out here, we're going to zoom out, look at the big picture view, see if there's any other storms that could get our attention here. At least in northern or Amite and Wilkinson County, this is going to be the main storm. You see that tornado warning, and you also see this yellow polygon here that extends into East Feliciana Parish and even into St. Helena. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. So while in this red polygon, that has the best chance for a tornado, we could still see potential wind gusts of 60 mile per hour or greater, even down closer towards the state line in some of these heavy thunderstorms. So this is not any, if you were in the severe thunderstorm warning box, anywhere in it, this is not anything you want to be driving around in, especially this is a very wooded area. If you're driving, trees could fall at any moment with those sort of winds. So you don't want to be driving around. It's best just to get inside, stay in your home. But if you're in that tornado warning polygon, that's where you really need to take shelter. A little bit farther down towards the south, lots of showers and thunderstorms. We're watching these for the potential severe weather threat and even flash flood threat as we continue to see these thunderstorms train over our area. But as of right now, what has most of our attention is this tornado warning right about to go through Liberty. You're seeing this updated radar scan here, 9:19 p.m. So you are very close here. I said about 15 minutes earlier. That might have been a little bit too much time because look where this rotation's at. You see the blues? That's going towards the radar. Red's going away, riding right up Highway 48 here. So really, you don't got too much time in Liberty before this area of rotation moves over the city. So you need to be sheltered right now. You do not need to take another minute. It is time to get to that most interior room. It is time to really take people, pets, anything that's valuable to you, go to that most interior room, and definitely most preferably a bathroom. That's where you're going to want to go for this tornado warning.
Yeah, Balin, I'll jump in, give you a break here. You know, take over at the helms at Radar. Was checking our National Weather Service chat. They're continuing to keep an eye on this storm that Balin's been talking about until 9:30, and we're going to stay with you at least until this circulation has passed over Liberty. I have my phone up right now on a tweet, an X post from the National Weather Service. They too say they continue to monitor this circulation very carefully as we do have a certainly rotating storm moving toward the town of Liberty in Amite County, southwest Mississippi. We pointed out some of the key roads, key thoroughfares through Amite County, Highway 48, Highway 24, certainly in the path of this rotating storm that at the very least is producing strong gusty winds, and if not, may producing a tornado as well. That is a new radar scan I noticed as Balin took over there. Previously, we'd seen the red shading, the winds moving away from the radar site, coming out of the south, moving into Liberty. Well, that's just changed, and they're now coming out of the northwest. So that's circulation somewhere in between. Balin mentioned this earlier. I'm going to just step off screen to set my phone down for a minute. But what we're looking for here is what's known as a tighter signature. Really, you'd like to see the blue and the red almost overlapping. That doesn't appear to be the case over Liberty. Perhaps just south of town might be a little bit tighter. If we were to point out where there could potentially be a tornado, it would be in this area right here. But I think I'm most interested, Balin, in what's happening just west of Liberty. Those really bright shades of blue. Notice the farther up we go on the scale, those are stronger velocities or wind speeds. 60 miles per hour notes severe thunderstorm level wind gusts. Remember, at EF0 tornado, 70 mile per hour winds. So regardless of what it's being produced by, whether it's just thunderstorm straight line winds or a weak quick spin up tornado, 60 to 70 miles per hour winds are damaging regardless of what the cause is. So within the town of Liberty right now, you want to be in that safe space. Balin went over it time and time again, as we always do when we're in this extended severe weather coverage, low-level interior room away from windows. Whatever you can do to put as many walls between yourself and the outside as possible. Again, as we have some really strong winds potentially in central Amite County right now and approaching the town of Liberty. Tornado warnings live for another 8 minutes. Of course, I'm in touch with Balin just over to my right, driving our radar vantage point right now. He'll let us know if this tornado warning is going to be extended by the National Weather Service. We'll be allowed to expire on time at 9:30. Of course, when it expires, we'll jump off the air. Also would plan to get us back to programming too once we get this circulation outside of the more populated areas of Amite County. Northern part of the county, very rural, thin road network, heavily wooded. We did have a similar situation just to the west of Crosby earlier on, but we know our folks in Liberty right now are counting on the coverage to get through this particular storm cell that's rumbling off to the east. Balin, we can go broader picture real quick, and what I want to do is go broader picture, and when you do that, go ahead and turn on the velocity or the storm motion on the broader picture as well, so we can show that really that is the key area of rotation right now, is the tornado warned storm in Liberty. We do have other warnings in the region, a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Hammond. No rotation with that particular storm, maybe some hail and some gusty winds. And then warnings galore to our west. Severe thunderstorm warning outside of Opelousas. The green boxes are where we have several flood advisories. That's the problem we're going to transition into later tonight, the overnight hours and tomorrow morning, and it could be some flash flooding that we're contending with, multiple inches starting to pile up. It's this short term is where we have the tornado threat, the severe weather threat. That should start to wrap up in the next couple of hours here as we transition to that heavy rain event. But let's focus back in on Amite County and check in on Liberty once again, as that's where the strongest winds and rotation are right now. And I see a new scan. And to me, Balin, that rotation is getting much broader, not as tight. And I would be surprised on this latest scan, if you do want to chime in, if this is extended, this tornado warning extended based on that presentation.
Yeah, I would feel like that this tornado warning would actually get canceled pretty soon, because what we're going to do here is go back and watch how this rotation has progressed. So here we are when it was near Centreville. Pretty strong. You could just clearly make out the reds and the blues there, but watch as we progress forward in time. The colors start to fade a little bit, and the rotation basically starts to flatten out. This rotation is basically flattening out, and we're seeing this transition more to just a wind event and not really a tornado event here. So yeah, it doesn't look like anything is imminent at the moment, and even the broad rotation is pretty much starting to go away, and the signature that I'm seeing here is more just a wind event, not really anything tornadic. So we're going to have to watch to see if this gets expired relatively soon. That
being said, Balin, I think you summed it up perfectly. I see the same. Warning is set to expire in 5 minutes. We now see the strongest winds pushing to the east of Liberty, or at least where the old area of rotation was, east of Liberty. At this moment, I'm going to say we're going to go ahead and toss it back to programming. So just to wrap up here, we will return if this rotation tightens back up or other areas within our viewership are under a tornado warning. But for now, Remain sheltered up in Amite County, if not a rotating storm anymore. Still some strong damaging wind gusts possible. In Liberty, Mississippi, some strong winds appear to be occurring. Eastern parts of Amite County, it appears to be occurring. And we still do have a severe thunderstorm warning that stretches across the state line into St. Helena and East Feliciana Parish, parts of Hammond. Southern Tangipahoa Parish also under a severe thunderstorm warning. We will have a complete update on what is happening on our 10 o'clock newscast at the top of the hour and let you know what to expect with the remaining severe weather threat and the heavy rain threat as we persist into the overnight hours. You've been watching extended severe weather coverage on WBRZ News 2, the Storm Station.
No one ever saw Tylee again after that point, after that very last photo with Alex and JJ. JJ disappears 2 weeks after that. Last seen in this photograph wearing a pair of red pajamas, which was later released by police. Lori allegedly tells house guests that JJ is acting up, so Lori's brother Alex picks him up in the middle of the night and drives him away. And then JJ's never seen again. The family's getting smaller and smaller. Charles is gone. The children are gone. What's next?
Alex, he's not breathing.
He said, "I think I am being their fall guy." And I'm like, "The fall guy for what?"
Stay ahead of your child's moderate to severe eczema with Dupixent as they